Thank you for staying with us in Nigeria Decides. And on this final segment of the show, we will be talking about Rivers State. From the trending on Twitter, #Wike must go, to protest on the street, to the PDP spokesperson, Darlington Orji, we just spoke with him earlier. Rivers is on the front burner from now till Saturday. Joining us to look at the issues arising is from our far. She's been with us all evening, Obi Adiego. She's a legal practitioner. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, Blessing Olomu. She's a journalist and is with the head of stations, actually, of Nigeria Info. Thank you very much for joining us.
All right, so I'll start with you, Blessing. Obviously, you are on the ground. You have lived in Rivers State. I'm sure you grew up in Rivers State, so you have a clear, fair knowledge of how politics works. Now, we'll start with the fact that the APC does not have a candidate. In fact, they lost out in all of the elections because of some form of infighting. And now, quoting one of the House of National Assembly aspirants who's saying something has to happen before Saturday. Do you even see that miracle happening anytime soon?
No, it's impossible. We just have, the election is on Saturday. There's no way they can get on the ballot. Perhaps they may throw their weight behind another political party. That's possible. I think that's the only option they have at the moment. But aside that, it's nothing. They cannot do anything about it.
I'm just wondering, which political party could they possibly, because we know, because of the primaries, the outcome of the primaries, we know that there was a parallel primaries. People like Dumo Lulu Briggs have gone to run on another platform. So which political party has a stronger position for the likes of Governor Wike that the APC can truly throw their weight behind?
Currently, no political party is as strong as the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State. Except what they want to do is that they want to leverage on their strength as the APC to get their supporters to vote any of the party. There have been rumors that they're looking at supporting the ADP candidates. There have been rumors they are looking at supporting Accord, but nothing is concrete. We are not sure. It's just rumors. As it stands now, APC, it's almost like I don't have any dog in the fight, so they don't have anybody they are supporting at the moment officially. But rumors be swelling.
There are implications to that. If APC doesn't have any candidate at all, what does that make of the stance of the party? At the national level, they are the ruling party. And then at the state level, which happens to be one of the key states, they don't have any seat, so to speak. What are the possible implications? Let me come to you, Obi. What are the possible implications of that?
It just means, for me, it's a free ride for PDP. Except what I would have expected APC to have done when they realized this was they should have gone to plan B. Who out of all these other parties do we have a meeting with and use that person to make sure that there's an opposition to PDP?
Okay.
But unfortunately, there is no such person. In fact, the likes of the reason why I mentioned the Dumo Lulu Briggs was that he was in the APC. And this is not his first rodeo when it comes to trying to seek for governorship. But he was locked out. He claims to have been locked out of the primaries. And hence the reason why he went to another party. So do they really have sympathy of sorts where people would support them? And if the APC loses out, if the courts do not perform a miracle, is the APC gone forever for Rivers State? Is there going to be a stronghold? Because we know that the Minister of Transportation, which is the leader of the party there in the state, also has a stake to claim.
Well, I've always looked at the trio, Magnus Abe, Rotimi Amechi, and Wike. And I've always looked at them on almost on par. But Wike has an edge, because he's in power. And Rivers is quite buoyant. But and Wike would do everything possible to see that he doesn't lose that gubernatorial thing, because I feel it's a personal thing for him. Am I right? It's a personal thing. I've never met him, but from what I can see, he's taking it as a personal fight. He's taking it as if these people want to rubbish me. I will not let them rubbish me.
In talking about that, Blessing, again, back to you, because I'm sure you were on the ground on the elections day. You saw the number of cases that were reported. According to the women who marched from Abonima, they said at least 35 people died on election day. How true is this? And for the feelers that you were getting, how was River State? Because we were just, from the outside looking in, we were just getting feelers, but we were not really sure what exactly it was like. Was it a situation where people were afraid to go out and cast their votes?
Okay, firstly, the figure of 35 is just outrageous. You can't have 35 people dead and you will not be able to have the bodies to prove it. The death toll from Abonima has not really been released, but from what we understand, at least 8 people died, but not up to 35. Today, a lot of people moved out of Abonima because they were scared. But sometimes you also need to look at this thing from another angle. Yes, the people are scared, but the narrative that is being played out can be fine-tuned by politicians.
Is it being exaggerated? Is that what you're saying?
There's always that possibility, because in River State, looking at the way they've played the politics, even right from the administration of Chibuike Amici, they are always good at exaggerating things. They always say a lot of things that are not true, just to overheat the polity.
So what would you make of the theory that just like Amadou Sheriff, I asked this question of the PDP chieftain that we spoke to, Darlington OJ, earlier, and we heard his reaction. I want to find out yours. That Abe is like Alimadu Sheriff that was implanted to destabilize the PDP. Now they are alleging that Abe is working with Wike to destabilize APC. What do you make of that scenario?
Personally, I don't think it's entirely true. Abe has always supported Chibuike Amici, but he has an ambition, the ambition of becoming a governor. And from the time from 2014, 2015, it's been difficult for him to get the ticket. Now, because of Abe's political ambition, it's kind of strained relationship between him and Amici. And if you look at this thing holistically, like if somebody is aggrieved, the person would do everything possible to try and make their cases known. I just feel that Abe is just trying to fight for his right. The issue of him being a mole of the PDP inside, if it happens.
All right, we'll just take a quick break. We'll go for a quick commercial. When we come back, we spoke to a reporter in River State. We want to speak to a reporter in River State who was on the ground when Abonima had its issue. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. It's still Nigeria Decides.
You're still watching Nigeria Decides on Plus TV Africa.
Barely 48 hours after unknown gunmen on Saturday shot and killed 3 soldiers in a Abonima community in a Gubernatorial local government area of River State, reactions have continued to trail the development. Now, joining us on the phone from River State is a journalist, Soibi Oruwari. Soibi, it's good to have you join us. Now, bring us up to speed on the casualty figures from that community. Do you have any updates as to what happened? We had initial figures pegged at 3. Hello?
At the moment is 3. At the moment, 3. But this was not inside the Abonima community. This was a junction somehow far away from Abonima. So it's called Abonima, the Abonima military checkpoint. It's not inside the community. It happened somehow far away. So what I mean far away, just 3 to 5 space pools away from the main community. So this area is very predominantly occupied by Abonima indigents who bought land and built their houses. It's still within the agricultural local government area. It's Abonima military checkpoint. That is where it happened. Exactly 1 week it happened. On the 23rd of February, the other soldier died. On the 2nd of March, this incident happened. That is to say, exactly 1 week it happened. They came through a route called Munama Obonoma route. That place you can come through the land or you can come through the sea. So we gathered that they came through the sea, but they came on bike, and after carrying out their crime, they also zoom up with the bike.
So, what really could have led to these attacks beyond the elections on the 23rd?
These attacks, it could be, from what I gathered, it's a spillover from the 23rd Saturday crisis that happened in Abonima. So it cannot be attributed to any of the parties involved at the moment, because this unknown government did not mention their mission. They only came and carried out their mission and left. Some are insinuating that it could be the continuous military presence, or the boys are also telling the military that you cannot know our environment more than we know our environment. You can decide to be in the environment while we can just give you a surprise visit, and that was what actually happened.
So Soibi, finally, just tell us, how true is the report of residents numbering no less than 5,000 having fled their homes for fear of reprisal attacks? How true is this?
Some persons were leaving the community in droves. Yes, they were leaving the community following fear of reprisal attack. You and I know that once a personnel died in such gruesome manner, there is deep panic among residents, and that was what played out. Not that the military immediately took action. They never took any action. As at yesterday, as at this moment, we've not had any report of military persons harassing or disturbing the Aboniman community. As at this moment, such a report has not come to my desk.
All right, well, that's Soibi Ruwari. He is a journalist with Wazobia Info. Unfortunately, his boss is here. But again, Obi, you listen to that. Is obviously the part that caught me is that they could have come from the sea. These people who came dressed or looking like soldiers, and it happened exactly 1 week after a soldier was killed in Abonima. And then he also said something about the youth saying, "You cannot know our violence more than us." What does this really mean?
I feel this attack was reprisal attack for whatever the military were supposed to have done on them and on the 23rd of February. You don't agree?
I don't.
Okay, tell us, Blessing. You seem to know.
You see, this is a strategy. As long as an environment is not safe, election cannot hold in that area.
Okay.
You see, there's a problem. People don't always look beyond what it is because there's no proper investigation. This is all a strategy to ensure that as far as that area is concerned, there will not be elections.
Why do you think that this is being done? I mean, who would you presume is doing this? Because, I mean, even if it has to be a strategy, why target security agencies?
Because if you target security agencies, they are the ones who actually write a report to say, this area, elections cannot hold. Remember, the INEC rule says any area that is not safe, election cannot hold.
Why Abonima then? Why is it so special in the scheme of things? Why not Falga? Why not Ikwere?
Okay, don't forget that Abonima is the hometown of Tonyeko, the APC governorship aspirant, whose name was removed from the ballot by INEC due to the court case.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Members of a coalition of governorship candidates and party men in Rivers State, they're accusing the governor, Nyesom Wike, of acquiring and distributing illegal arms and ammunition to the 23 local government areas to rig the governorship and House of Assembly elections. What do you make of this? Is there any atom of truth? Or it's just mere allegations?
I really can't say if it's true or not. You know, this is why we need a very neutral security agencies to investigate these allegations, because these are serious allegations coming up close to election. And also don't forget that anybody can throw an allegation. And again, while they're accusing the governor is also accusing the APC of using the military and also of using militants, hiring thugs from other neighboring states to come and disrupt the election. Don't forget, in the results that were released, Rivers State, there are 3 senatorial districts, 2 inconclusive. Just 7 of the House of Representatives have been concluded. And there are concerns that even Saturday's election, there will be many areas in which elections will not be concluded. This, many believe, is a strategy to ensure that you know, the PDP do not have full control over the state.
What's playing in your mind as she's responding? I can see you reacting somewhat.
You know, Machiavelli says the end justifies the means. As she was talking, I think the whole end of this game is for Wike to win the election, and for APC to make it very difficult for him. Exactly. So they are employing everything. So that Machiavellian, it is not how you get there, it's not how you win it, but the end justifies the means. That's what came to my mind.
Okay, we have this video of Tony Cole. You mentioned him earlier, talking about the infighting in the APC and the implication it might possibly have. Let's just listen to him and then we'll come back and continue the conversation.
I'd say that there was some infighting within the party right at the Congress level. One party decided to go to court, another party went and got an injunction. Then, based on that injunction, a primary was carried out. Somebody did not agree. One thing led to another court case, another court case, and that just continued snowballing. At some point, you would have expected that people would sit down at a table, come to an agreement, knowing that the ultimate end will not be beneficial to anyone. I'll say that I've never run away from that. I've always called Senator Magnus intermittently, talking to him and asking him to come in, but he said something consistently, which is that he never believed that I was in a position to do it because I was not the issue, I was not the problem, and that he believed that the only person who can resolve the issue is the leader of the party, Rotimi Amechi, and that only both of them can sit down to resolve it. It makes it a bit hard for third parties to come into a picture where one party says that only another party can.
I mean, you can hear what Tony, he sounds more like, I'm ready for peace, but it's not in my hands, you know, it's in the hands of the leader of the party. So it seems more like this is beyond a Senator Magnus Abe and a Tony Cole situation. It's more of a Rotimi Amechi situation. How does this play out? Saturday is just around the corner. I mean, we're just going to count a few days and then we're in Saturday. What should people be looking up for? Because I keep asking, why is Rivers State such a hotbed? Why must it always be? And I asked Darlington that same question. Should we be hopeful that something might change in the scheme of things, or should we, like I asked, be living in fear or, you know, checking before we go out to cast our votes? Is this not going to bring some form of voter apathy in Rivers State?
Well, the first thing that I said about Rivers State is that it's a cash cow. The money is too much, and everybody, the stakes are very high there. So I would expect another drama in Rivers, but not to the level of the 23rd.
Lesson, I want to ask you this question. There's a lot of, you know, issues going on and talks about leadership. You just mentioned that it seems to be beyond Tony Cole and Abe. Does it have anything to do with the leadership style of, say, Amechi, for instance? And let me just leave it there. Does it have anything to do with the leadership style? Amechi, who is the head of the party in that state, if we're going by the politics of the day?
I think Amechi has not been able to hold the party strong. He made some mistakes, and one of the big mistakes he made was to bring up this issue of indirect primaries. And also, even when he made the mistake, even when there were people that were aggrieved, at the point when legal processes started, when some people started going to court, they could have recalled them and settled some of these issues out of court. But I think they just dismissed it.
That begs the question. If you say it's a mistake, there are those who are saying it's his style, that he is totalitarian, that he's gubernatorial, so to speak, in the way he's handling the issues that come from the party. And there is the argument that he's just before the court cases, knowing that he's a lawyer and there's a possibility there might be a backlash, he still went ahead because he wanted to do the winner takes it all kind of mentality.
Well, Amaechi is someone that I really can't explain, but what I can just say is this: I think it's a mistake. I think he didn't see this coming. If he had seen this particular issue coming, he would have pulled the issue, all the case, and try to settle the people. But Amaechi is someone who it's mending fences is something that is a little bit difficult for him. You can see how his relationship with Wike is, even his former godfather Odili. So I think it's some of these things playing out. He's not really a bad person per se, but his leadership style is something that is a little bit complicated, especially in a Nigerian political atmosphere.
Obi, do you think that this is like a bitter lesson for political gladiators, not just in Rivers State, but across board? Because if infighting in such a way and leadership issues could escalate to this point where a party loses out completely in a general election, as it is the case now, is it a bitter lesson? Are they learning, or do you think they will learn from this experience?
From these people I see, they will not learn. It is a bitter lesson, and like she said, he miscalculated. He thought, okay, if I go to court, if we go to court, they'll bow to me because I am the leader of APC. But he forgets that everybody has the choice, right to make a choice. But I don't think they will learn, because there's this infallibility that's associated with politicians, that they feel they can do it, they can do it, they can do it.
But one would have expected that he would have, or maybe it's history repeating itself in a backward manner, so to speak, because in 2017, we know that during the era of Obasanjo, he had a situation, Amaechi had a situation with that leadership. He went to court and he won back his mandate. But in this case, that doesn't seem to have played out. He lost his enemy in quotes, also lost.
The reason why this happened is because, see, you can't keep disobeying court orders, and then you go up to the mother court to say, look, give me justice. Justice starts from even the magistrate court. The Magnus Abe faction got a court judgment, but the Amaechi faction refused to obey that court judgment. This is where this whole problem started from.
I read a citation from the court judgment to Tonye Cole. The judge was very, very angry. He said, you want us to put something on nothing.
More like there's no foundation for what you're asking for.
And he also reiterated that they go to the Supreme Court had made a ruling. Why do you want to pit us against our senior brother in this thing? That sheds a light on all the things they've been doing.
Let's talk about the fact that I've spoken with both of them. I've spoken with Senator Magnus Abe, I've spoken with Tonye Cole. I'm here to speak with Amaechi on this issue, but Saturday is just around the corner. The people in the party are looking at it from both sides. Magnus Abe may never have a future in the APC because he's being seen as the
mole.
Yes, not necessarily a mole, but you know, the black goat, sort
the fifth columnist.
Exactly. There is no future for him. For Tonye Cole, who had to leave Sahara Group and turn his back on his business to run a state, he's now seeing himself more like hanging in between Senator Magnus Abe and Amaechi. What is the future for these two men? I mean, the minister is a minister. He's still part of the APC at the national level. But what about these men, being that they do not have, APC doesn't have anything to fight for in the governorship election, so it's a free flow for every other party who's running. What do you envisage would be Magnus's future and that of Tonye Cole? I'll start with you, Blessing.
I think Tonye Cole will just return back to Sahara oil.
He did tell me he wasn't going to go back.
Well, even if he's not going back, there is a businessman. There are lots of businesses he can do. He's not your traditional politician. As for Magnus Ebe, never say never. When it comes to politics, never say never. These guys can just fix their mess tomorrow and just make up. I've seen it happen. So I think Magnus Ebe is a force to reckon with. He's strong politically in Rivers State, and I think that APC still has a chance of mending. The election is not just all. As a political party, you prepare for elections. So I think they should try and fix their problem and just, you know, let everybody get what they need to get in the party.
Aside from this, okay, you wanted to say something about it?
No.
Okay, aside from this political infighting and all of that, my worry always at the end of the day comes to the people of Rivers State, those that might have had, you know, options, and with the security situation, we have, now they don't have an APC candidate. They still have other candidates that they can vote for. And then there is the security situation. We just heard there was a protest. I don't know if some of those pictures can be
pictures from the Wike Must Go project.
Yes, there was some protest about it. And we also know that people were leaving their homes, Abonima area, leaving their homes and all of that. What advice would you give to them if you were in their position? That's on the one side. And then on the other side, how can these men, despite their disagreement, know that elections are still going to hold, even though a party is not going to be a part of it, to secure the security agencies, to secure the lives of as they go out to cast their franchise? I'll come to you first, Blessing.
It's hard to tell someone that stay in a city. In fact, there is one reporter whose parents were in Abonima that day. These people didn't eat. The parents are in their 70s. They did not have breakfast until 4 p.m. because they couldn't go out of their house to buy food to eat. It was that bad on Abonima. So the advice I would give to them is that you have to be an IDP until after you are sure that everything is okay. I support them 100% moving out from their homes, because the truth is this: you don't want to be involved when two politicians, two gladiators are fighting. You don't know where the bullets are coming from. And secondly, in terms of security operatives, they've been compromised. They may be innocent, they may not, but there's always this issue of security operatives being corrupt.
Yeah, you have to at least trust to a certain degree.
During the time of Amechi, we had Amechi complaining about Umbu. You remember Umbu?
The commissioner of police at the time.
It was a very big issue. Sometimes people would just be walking on the road, they'll be running for tear gas. Then Umbu left, then we had Fakorode, a Wike complaint Fakorode. Now, it's the new army boss in Rivers State that is the main guy. As long as all these things keep coming, we can't have security, because it's almost like the security operatives are more interested in one politician or the other than actually safeguarding the people.
Obi, give some hope.
It's really sad to hear that, Obi, as a lawyer.
Give some hope.
Is this doom and gloom, or there is some hope in sight for the people of Rivers?
Like I've always said, I am so optimistic about the Nigerian dream, and I believe that we will get it right. We're learning. Where we started in 1999 is not where we are now.
All right. Well, it's been an interesting conversation all evening, and it's been an all-female panel, which is very interesting.
To wrap things up, we did have a man earlier.
Yes, but we want to say thank you very much to Ms. Obi Ajegbo. She's a legal practitioner. Thank you for speaking with us. Make sure you vote on Saturday.
I'll try to.
Also, we've had Blessing Olomu. She is the head of stations, Kuwazobia Info FM Port Hacker. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you, Maria.
All right, Felicity, tomorrow is another day.
Yes, indeed. Tomorrow we will be right back to talk with you, talk about issues as we prepare for the Gubernatorial and State House of Assembly elections. We're hopeful that there will be some measure of peace and calm for people to go out and cast their vote, because there will be no point. I mean, all the preparation will be in vain if nobody goes out to vote. And like our panelists have tried to encourage, security agencies should step up to the plate and ensure that there's there's some measure, a semblance of, you know, calm so people can go out and vote. Again, I will urge you to be security conscious. We'll be back again tomorrow. Stay glued to Plus TV Africa for all the information you need as the election approaches.
I am Mariana Kun.
And I am Felicity Ezeoike.